In the last few years, something kind of wild has happened in the video game world. A new superpower just sort of appeared, churning out global hits and attracting these massive billion-dollar buyouts. And that country is Turkey.
So, how did they do it? How did a country that wasn't really on the gaming map suddenly become a world leader in the super competitive mobile market? Well, it wasn't an accident. It's more like a carefully crafted recipe with some very powerful ingredients.
And the stakes here are huge. We're talking about an industry that's on track to pull in over $1 billion in revenue just this year. This is a massive economic engine. So what's the secret fuel?
Well, it all starts with the first, and honestly, the most shocking ingredient in this whole recipe, an almost unbelievable tax advantage.
Okay, so if you just look on paper, Turkey's corporate tax rate seems pretty normal, right? 25%? It's right in line with a lot of other countries. That's the baseline number most companies would expect to pay.
But here's where it gets interesting. For companies that create software, and yep, that includes video games, and then sell it overseas, a recent law just completely flipped the script.
Get this. The government just straight up exempts 80% of all profits from software exports from being taxed. That's right. For every dollar a Turkish game studio makes from players outside Turkey, 80 cents of that profit is just invisible to the tax man.
Now, to really grasp how massive that is, we need to talk about the effective tax rate. It's not the official number, it's what a company actually pays after all the special rules are applied. So what does that 80% exemption really do to a company's tax bill?
It crashes it all the way down to about 4%. Just let that sink in for a second. A normal company is paying 25%, but a successful game exporter is paying closer to 4%. And believe it or not, that's not even the best it gets.
So let's move on to our second ingredient, because this is where things get even more wild. We're going inside Turkey's special zero-tax zones.
What if I told you that 4% wasn't the lowest you could go? What if you could pay 0? Well, welcome to Turkey's technoparks. These are special zones for tech companies that play by a whole different set of rules.
I mean, just look at the difference here. R&D centers are pretty good, sure, but technoparks are on another level. Corporate tax on software profits, 0. But here's the real kicker, and this is huge for attracting talent. Employees working there pay absolutely no income tax on their salaries.
So let's add it all up. It's a founder's dream. You've got 100% corporate tax exemption, 100% income tax exemption for your developers, and on top of all that, the government pays for half of your social security costs. This isn't just a tax break. It's like having a state-sponsored growth machine.
But wait, the recipe's not finished. We've got one final ingredient, and it's the most direct one of all. The Turkish government doesn't just take less money from you, it actively gives you money to grow.
And that's a really important distinction. We're moving past exemptions and into the world of direct grants and literal cash refunds. The government basically becomes a co-investor in your company's success, without taking any of the ownership.
So think about it. Where does a game company spend most of its cash? It's on salaries for their talented people, on marketing to actually find players, and of course, on those massive commissions that Apple and Google take. These are the big 3 costs that can make or break a studio.
And this is where the support is just jaw-dropping. You spend $1 million on marketing outside the country, the government hands you $500,000 back. That 30% cut Apple and Google take, the government refunds half of it. It even covers 50% of the salaries for new hires for 2 full years.
And as the experts point out, this isn't some small subsidy. For a mobile game company, cutting that App Store fee from 30% down to 15% is an absolute game changer. It totally transforms the profitability of your entire business model.
So, what do you get when you mix near-zero taxes with huge cash refunds? Well, you create the perfect ecosystem for building a global gaming giant right from scratch.
Let's just walk through the journey. You can literally start your company with a government grant. Then, you set up shop in a technopark so you can grow your profits completely tax-free. And when you're ready to take on the world, you use another set of grants to cut your marketing costs in half. It's practically a guided path to success.
And the really clever part is how the support system adapts as your company gets bigger. There are specific grants for tiny startups, those unbeatable technopark benefits for growing companies, and then a different set of powerful incentives once you become a large firm. The help is there every step of the way.
So in the end, it's not just one policy that made this happen, it's the combination, this powerful, layered system of tax breaks, payroll support, and cash refunds all working together that gives Turkish developers an almost unbeatable advantage on the world stage.
I mean, this aggressive strategy clearly worked. It built a billion-dollar industry practically out of thin air. But it does leave us with a huge question. Is this kind of state-sponsored approach a sustainable long-term plan, or is it a blueprint that other countries are going to start copying in the global race for digital dominance?